Right now, at this very moment, there is a single verification step so simple, so powerful, that it can eliminate up to 99% of all voice scams targeting you and your family. And if you are over the age of 60, this is not just important news. This is the difference between keeping your life savings and watching it vanish in a single phone call. I need you to listen to every word I am about to say, because the criminals have gotten smarter, they have gotten faster, and they now have technology that can steal the one thing you never thought anyone could take from you: the sound of your loved one's voice. Let me start with a number that should make every single American over the age of 60 sit up and pay attention. In 2024, seniors in this country lost $4.89 billion to fraud. That is not a typo. $4.89 billion. And here is what makes that number even more terrifying. That figure represents a 43% increase from the year before. The losses are climbing, the scams are evolving, and the people behind them are using artificial intelligence to do something that was science fiction just a few years ago. They are cloning voices, real human voices, the voice of your son, the voice of your daughter, the voice of your grandchild crying on the other end of the phone, begging you to help them. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, I would never fall for something like that. I am careful. I do not give my information to strangers. I hang up on telemarketers. And I understand that feeling. You have spent your entire life being smart, being cautious, being responsible with your money. But this is not the same world it was even 5 years ago. The Federal Trade Commission recently issued a report to Congress that was, in their own words, deeply disturbing. Total fraud losses by Americans over the age of 60 increased by 400% between 2020 and 2024. 400%. That is not a gradual rise, that is an explosion. And the single biggest driver behind that explosion is artificial intelligence. Here is how it works, and I want you to understand this clearly because knowledge is your first line of defense. Artificial intelligence can now clone a person's voice using just 30 seconds of audio. 30 seconds. That is less time than it takes to listen to a voicemail. That is shorter than most of the videos your grandchildren post on social media. Every time your child posts a video online, every time your grandchild says something funny on a platform that millions of people can see, every time you leave a voicemail greeting on your own phone, that audio is out there. And scammers are collecting it. They are scraping it from social media posts, from voicemail recordings, from short video clips, and they are feeding it into artificial intelligence systems that can reproduce that voice with chilling accuracy. A global study by McAfee surveyed 7,000 people and found that 1 in 4 had already encountered an AI voice scam or knew someone who had. 1 in 4. That means if you are in a room with 4 people, chances are at least one of them has experienced this. And of those who received a message from an AI voice clone, 77% lost money. The losses ranged from $500 to $15,000, 77%. That means the vast majority of people who get these calls end up sending money to criminals because the voice on the other end sounds exactly like someone they love. Let me tell you about a real case that happened right here in this country. An elderly man in California received a phone call. On the other end, he heard his son's voice. His son was crying, panicked, barely able to speak. He said he had been in a horrible accident. He said he was in jail. He said he needed money for bail immediately. The voice was unmistakable. It was his son. Every inflection, every tone, every bit of emotion was real. This father did what any loving parent would do. He moved $25,000. He sent the money because his child needed him. But it was not his child. It was an artificial intelligence voice clone. His son was safe at home the entire time, completely unaware that his voice had been stolen and used to rob his own father. In another case, a woman in Brooklyn received a call from what sounded like her in-laws. She could hear their voices clearly, and then a stranger came on the line claiming the couple was being held for ransom. The voices were perfect. They sounded exactly like the people she knew, but they were clones. Artificial intelligence had taken their voices and turned them into weapons. Now, I want you to stop for a moment and think about how you would react if your phone rang right now and you heard your grandchild's voice, sobbing, saying they were in trouble, saying they needed you to send money right away. Would you question it? Would you ask for proof? Or would you do what every grandparent in this country would do and move heaven and earth to help them? That instinct, that love, that willingness to do anything for your family, that is exactly what these criminals are counting on. They are weaponizing your love against you. And it is not just family members. Scammers are cloning the voices of authority figures too. They can make it sound like your bank is calling. They can make it sound like the Social Security Administration is on the line. They can make it sound like Medicare is contacting you about an urgent issue with your benefits. The Federal Trade Commission has warned that fraudulent telemarketers direct up to 80% of their calls at seniors. 80%. You are not just another phone number to them. You are their primary target. And the reason is simple. You have spent your entire life building something. You have savings. You have retirement accounts. You have a home. You have assets. As one infamous bank robber once said when asked why he robbed banks, he said, "Because that is where the money is." That is exactly how scammers see you. There is also a physiological reality that makes this even more dangerous for seniors. Researchers at Cornell University published a study in the Journals of Gerontology that found naturally occurring changes in the brains of older people make them more vulnerable to financial exploitation. Specifically, changes occur in the part of the brain that alerts us when we are facing a risky situation, and in the part of the brain that controls our ability to read social cues. An earlier study from the University of Iowa found similar changes in the prefrontal cortex that make older adults less skeptical and therefore more likely to be victimized. This is not about intelligence. This is not about being naive. This is about biology, and the scammers know it. So here is where the good news begins. Because there is one single step, one verification action that you can take right now, today, that will protect you and your family from virtually all of these voice cloning scams. And it does not require any technology. It does not require any software. It does not require any money. It requires something far more powerful. It requires a safe word. A safe word is a pre-agreed code word or phrase that only you and your trusted family members know. It is a secret, a private word that you share with your children, your grandchildren, your spouse, your closest friends. And the rule is simple. If anyone ever calls you claiming to be a family member in trouble, claiming to need money, claiming to be in an emergency situation, you ask for the safe word. If they cannot provide it, you hang up. It does not matter how real the voice sounds. It does not matter how desperate the situation appears. It does not matter if they are crying, if they are begging, if they are telling you that every second counts. You ask for the safe word, and if they do not know it, you hang up. Now, let me walk you through exactly how to set this up, because the details matter. First, you need to pick a word or phrase that is unique. It should not be something that an outsider could guess. Do not use birthdays. Do not use pet names. Do not use your mother's maiden name. Do not use anything that could be found on your social media or in public records. The best safe words are inside jokes, shared memories, or random combinations that only your family would understand. Something like the name of a restaurant you visited on a family vacation 20 years ago, or a silly phrase that your grandchild made up when they were 3 years old. It needs to be something that has meaning to your family and zero meaning to anyone else. Second, you need to keep it private. This is critical. Do not share your safe word over the phone. Do not share it in a text message. Do not share it on social media. Share it in person, face-to-face, or through a secure encrypted channel. Treat it like you would treat your bank password. If anyone, even accidentally, posts a hint about your safe word online, you change it immediately. You can store your safe word in a password manager if you use one, but the key is that only your trusted inner circle knows what it is. Third, you should consider having more than one safe word for different groups. Your family should have one safe word. If you have a close friend who might call you in an emergency, you might have a different word with them. If you are still working or have business contacts who might need to verify their identity with you, that could be a third word. Do not use the same safe word across multiple groups, because if one gets compromised, you do not want every door unlocked. Fourth, and this is something most people never think about, you need to practice using it. A safe word only works if people remember to use it when the moment comes. So, sit down with your family and talk about it. Make it a conversation. Tell your children and your grandchildren about voice cloning scams. Tell them that this is a real threat. Tell them that if they ever get a call from you asking for money, they should ask for the safe word too. This is not paranoia. This is preparation. You can even turn it into a game with your grandchildren. Ask them the safe word randomly and see if they remember it. Make it fun, but make it serious, because one day it could save your family thousands of dollars and untold emotional pain. Now, the safe word is your primary defense, but it should not be your only defense. There are additional verification steps that you should always use in combination. The first one is the callback method. If you receive a call from someone claiming to be a family member in trouble, hang up the phone. Do not stay on the line. Do not let them convince you to stay connected. Scammers will often beg you not to hang up. They will say there is no time. They will say if you hang up, something terrible will happen. That is a manipulation tactic. Hang up anyway. Then, call the person back using a phone number that you already have stored in your contacts. Not a number they give you. Not a number that appears on your caller ID, because scammers can spoof phone numbers and make it look like the call is coming from your grandchild's phone. You call the number you already have, the one you have used 100 times before. If they answer, you will know the truth. If they do not answer, try reaching them through another family member or a friend. The second additional step is video verification. If you are suspicious but not certain, ask to switch to a video call. Now, I know that scammers can create deepfake videos too, but it is far less likely that a scammer has both a video deepfake and an audio clone ready to go. Asking for a video call adds a layer of difficulty for the scammer, and many of them will simply hang up rather than try to produce a convincing video on the spot. And even if they do attempt a video call, you should still ask for your safe word. The third additional step is to ask a personal question, something only the real person would know. Not their birthday, not their address, not anything that could be found online. Ask them about a specific memory. Ask them what they had for dinner last time you saw them. Ask them the name of their first pet. Ask them something that no artificial intelligence and no stranger could possibly know. If they cannot answer, or if they dodge the question, you have your answer. It is not really them. Let me be very clear about something here. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, the agency that is tasked with protecting American consumers from fraud, has specifically recommended this exact approach. They have said in their own official consumer alerts that if you get a call that sounds like a family member in trouble, you should call the person who supposedly contacted you using a phone number you know is theirs and verify the story. If you cannot reach your loved one, try to get in touch with them through another family member or their friends. The FTC does not make these recommendations lightly. They have seen the damage. They have tracked the losses. They know what works. In fact, the FTC has been fighting back against voice cloning on multiple fronts. They launched something called the Voice Cloning Challenge, which was a competition designed to encourage innovative solutions for protecting people from AI-enabled voice cloning. They awarded prizes to technologies that can detect whether voice patterns are human or synthetic, systems that can detect voice cloning in real time during incoming phone calls, and proposals to watermark audio in ways that would prevent AI from accurately cloning it. The FTC has also proposed a comprehensive ban on impersonation fraud and has applied the telemarketing sales rule to AI-enabled scam calls. They are doing everything they can on the regulatory side, but the reality is that regulation moves slowly and technology moves fast. The criminals are already using these tools today, right now, which means you need to be protecting yourself today, right now. Let me also tell you about some additional tools that can help. Your telephone carrier likely offers scam and spam call screening. Companies like T-Mobile have Scam Shield, Verizon has Call Filter, and AT&T has Active Armor. These services can automatically flag or block suspected scam calls before they ever reach your phone. There are also third-party applications like RoboKiller and Aura that provide additional layers of protection. These tools use databases of known scam numbers and patterns to identify fraudulent calls in real time. They are not perfect, and they will not catch everything, but they add another barrier between you and the criminals. If you have a bank account or investment accounts, and I know most of you do, there are protections available there as well. The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, known as FINRA, has two specific rules designed to protect seniors. Rule 45.1.2 requires brokers to ask their customers for a trusted contact person, someone who can be reached if there is a suspicion of fraud or if the customer appears to be experiencing diminished capacity. Rule 21.6.5 allows investment firms to place temporary holds of up to 15 business days on disbursements if they reasonably suspect that someone 65 or older is being exploited. These rules exist because the financial industry has seen the devastation firsthand. If you have investment accounts, make sure your broker has your trusted contact information on file. That single step could give your family and your financial institution the time they need to stop a fraudulent transaction before the money is gone. Now, I want to address something that is difficult to talk about but absolutely necessary. If you have already been scammed, if you have already sent money to someone who used a cloned voice to trick you, you need to know that you are not alone. You are not stupid. You are not weak. You were targeted by sophisticated criminals using technology that did not exist a decade ago. The shame and embarrassment that victims feel is one of the biggest reasons these crimes go unreported. The FTC has acknowledged that their official loss numbers are considerably lower than the true figures because so many people who have been scammed never report it. They are too embarrassed. They do not want their children to know. They do not want to admit that they were fooled. But here is the truth. Every single day, intelligent, careful, responsible seniors are being victimized by these scams. It is happening to people just like you, and the only way to fight back is to report it. If you have been scammed, or if you spot a scam, you should report it to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. That is reportfraud.ftc.gov. You can also contact the FBI. The Department of Justice has an Elder Justice Initiative that provides resources and assistance for victims of elder fraud. Reporting these crimes does not just help you. It helps every other senior in this country, because every report gives law enforcement another piece of the puzzle, another data point, another trail to follow. The scammers are counting on your silence. Do not give it to them. Let me also talk about why seniors are specifically targeted, because understanding the strategy of the enemy helps you defend against them. Scammers target older Americans for several reasons. First, as I mentioned, you have accumulated wealth over a lifetime. You have savings, retirement accounts, home equity, and investments. To a criminal, you are the bank. Second, scammers know that many seniors live alone or are socially isolated. They know that a phone call might be the most significant social interaction you have all day. They know that loneliness makes people more willing to engage in conversation, more willing to trust, more willing to help. Third, scammers know that seniors are generally more polite. You were raised in a generation where it was considered rude to hang up on someone. You were taught to be courteous, to listen, to give people the benefit of the doubt. Scammers exploit that courtesy. They count on your good manners to keep you on the phone long enough to execute their scam. But here is the thing. You can be polite and still be protected. You can be kind and still be cautious. You can be the loving grandparent you have always been and still ask for the safe word before you send a single dollar. Setting up a safe word system does not make you paranoid. It does not make you distrustful of your family. It makes you smart. It makes you prepared. It makes you the person in your family who took action before the crisis happened, instead of after. I want you to imagine a scenario for just a moment. It is a Tuesday afternoon. You are sitting in your living room and your phone rings. You look at the caller ID and it shows your granddaughter's name. You answer and you hear her voice, but she is crying. She says she has been in an accident. She says she is scared. She says she needs you to wire money right now or something terrible is going to happen. Your heart is pounding. Your hands are shaking. Every instinct in your body is telling you to help her. But then you remember this video. You remember the safe word. So you take a breath and you say, "Honey, what is our safe word?" And there is silence on the other end. The voice stumbles. It tries to change the subject. It says, "There is no time for games." And in that moment, you know it is not her. You hang up. You call your granddaughter on the number you have stored in your phone, and she answers, happy, healthy, completely unaware of what just happened. And just like that, you have saved yourself from a scam that has cost other seniors thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. One word, one safe word. That is all it took. Now imagine the alternative. Imagine you never set up a safe word. Imagine you get that same call and you have no way to verify. You send the money. You wire $20,000 to a stranger. And when you finally reach your real granddaughter and realize what has happened, the money is already gone. It has been transferred, moved through multiple accounts, and disappeared. The chances of recovering it are slim. The emotional toll is devastating. You feel violated. You feel foolish. You feel angry. And the criminals are already moving on to their next victim. This is not a hypothetical situation. This is happening right now, in every state in this country, to people exactly like you. The FBI reported a 14% increase in telephone scam complaints from adults over 60 in just 1 year. The losses are in the billions. The technology is getting better every single day. And the only thing standing between you and a criminal with a cloned version of your child's voice is your willingness to take action today. So here is what I need you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, right now. After this video ends, I want you to pick up your phone and call your children. Call your grandchildren. Call your spouse. Call whoever is in your trusted inner circle. And I want you to have a conversation. Tell them about voice cloning scams. Tell them that artificial intelligence can copy a voice from 30 seconds of audio. Tell them that scammers are targeting seniors specifically. And then together, pick a safe word. Pick something unique, something private, something that only your family would know. Write it down, commit it to memory, and agree that from this day forward, no one in your family sends money, shares information, or takes action on an emergency call without verifying the safe word first. Then, I want you to do a few more things. I want you to contact your phone carrier and ask about spam call screening. Most of these services are free and they take less than 5 minutes to activate. I want you to contact your bank and your investment firm and ask about fraud protections. Make sure they have a trusted contact on file for you. Ask about transaction holds and disbursement delays for suspicious activity. I want you to be skeptical of urgency. Anytime someone calls you and says you need to act right now, you need to send money immediately, you need to make a decision in the next 5 minutes, that is a red flag. Real emergencies can wait the 30 seconds it takes to verify a safe word. Real family members will understand why you are asking. Real institutions will not pressure you to bypass your own security. And finally, I want you to share this information. Share this video with your friends, your neighbors, your bridge club, your church group, your retirement community. Every senior in this country needs to hear this message because the scammers are not going to stop. The technology is only going to get better. The losses are only going to grow unless we fight back with knowledge, with preparation, and with simple, powerful tools like the safe word. The Federal Trade Commission is doing its part. They are pursuing regulations, funding innovation, and issuing warnings. Law enforcement is doing its part. The FBI is investigating, the Department of Justice is prosecuting, and state agencies are cracking down. But none of that matters if you do not do your part. The government cannot sit in your living room when that phone rings. The FTC cannot answer the call for you. The only person who can stop a voice cloning scam in its tracks is you. And the tool you need is not complicated. It is not expensive. It is not technological. It is a word. One word. A word that you choose, that you share, that you guard, with the same care you guard your bank account. That word is your shield. That word is your defense. That word could be the thing that saves your retirement, your savings, and your peace of mind. This is Norix Hale, and this is the Federal Benefit Guide. My job is to make sure you have the information you need to protect everything you have worked your entire life to build. If this message helped you, if it opened your eyes to a threat you did not fully understand, then I need you to do 3 things right now. First, subscribe to this channel so that every time a new warning, a new policy change, or a new benefit update comes out, you are the first to know. Second, hit that notification bell so you never miss a single alert, because the information I share on this channel can be the difference between being protected and being victimized. And third, share this video with every senior you know. Share it on Facebook. Share it in your group chats. Email it to your family. Send it to your neighbors. Because the more people who know about the safe word, the fewer victims these scammers will have. Together, we can fight back. Together, we can protect our families. Together, we can make sure that not one more senior loses a single dollar to a voice that was never real to begin with. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and set your safe word today.